Hey guys, it's Alec Torelli from Conscious Poker. I'm out here in Malta, and the goal of this video and what I'm doing here is to check out the local games and hopefully provide some cool insights into how games work in different parts of the world, how to make adjustments to them. And the idea is that these are the stakes and the games that a lot of you guys have told me that you guys play and struggle making adjustments against. The players, especially the ones that are crazy, seem to play every hand. So of course, stay tuned to the end. I'm going to share my results and also talk about Malta and the place here. So let's check out the action. We found this amazing health food spot called Anuraki. There's this tiny little hole in the wall. Prices are amazing. The food is incredible. They're super friendly. Everything is gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, so there's pretty much something for everyone. And it is incredible. Highly recommend it. I'm also super hungry, so it didn't taste better, but this is really good, and we're enjoying it.
Yes.
Wow, I got an arancino, which is a Sicilian rice ball. Wow, this is amazing. All right, some pros and cons to Malta, and I'm gonna answer some of the most commonly asked questions I get about it here. First of all, I've been here 4 or 5 times over the past 12, 13 years, been here for the EBT, other poker events. I've sort of almost lived here, kind of stayed here for like a month. So I like Malta, and it's great, and it's definitely changed over the years. I would say one thing that I've noticed is it's gotten a lot more built up. There's a lot more construction, especially in St. Julian, Paceville, the main area where the Casino Malta is, and Portoaso where sort of the action is. So I guess that brings me to one of the downsides. There is a lot of construction, and it's kind of annoying. It's a little bit loud. And it also, I would say, irony is that there's also a lot of like old abandoned sort of buildings like on the backside of Malta. And so it's this dichotomy between a lot of new things being built and then things that are just totally abandoned. So that's one of the downsides. The second is St. Julian specifically is a very party-centric place, so it is a little bit chaotic, and it's very much a nighttime scene, almost like you would imagine something like spring break, like a Cancun spring break for people that are American. So I guess depending on whether or not that's your scene, that could be a pro or a con. It is a beautiful day today, and it is amazing that you could just walk on this boardwalk. You have the waves in the Mediterranean behind you, all these little shops on the boardwalk to stop and have coffee or lunch. Great food. At night you can smoke a hookah. There's drinks here, kind of whatever you want, and it's just a really cool atmosphere, especially if you come out to Sliema, which is just a little bit past St. Julian, kind of down the harbor. It's a lot more chill, a lot more tranquil, less of a party scene, much more relaxing. So I like this area a lot, and it's very chill. Wow, look at this kebab. It's so big, I cannot believe it. Epic. A couple things I love about Malta. It is very beautiful weather. It is amazing. I guess the con of that is that there is a lot of wind, so it's often very, very windy, even though it is often very sunny. So this is some of the crazy wind I was talking about. So if this bothers you, Malta's not your place. One other thing I love about Malta is it's very international. The national language is English, which is super cool, especially in the middle of Europe. A lot of places might be a little bit challenging to get by where people speak less English. Wow, hello. Hello. There's so many things to try. How's the fig rolls? Are these really good? Like classic?
Yes.
Like that's
Try this.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you. This is with?
Dates.
Dates, so it's not fig, it's similar.
Similar, exactly.
But here it's very international because a lot of people come to Malta to move here, to relocate here, because it is very favorable for taxes because people do speak English. So it's a lot of different types of food, a lot of different types of ethnicities are represented, and that's an amazing thing about Malta. Another one of the pros here is it's very cheap, even relative to other European countries that are nearby. So prices are lower than in a lot of neighboring European countries, which of course is always a plus. All right, after a workout, I earned it. We're here at Bella Sicilia. This is the best pastry shop that I've been to on the whole island. They have these beignet creams that are amazing. So as you know, it's been like 10 years since we came here, but Valletta has completely transformed. I do not remember it being touristy at all. I feel like we were the only ones here when we came, and I don't feel like this is a particularly touristy time of year either. But it is packed. It's almost like a Venice or Siena, like a busy Italian town, and you would not expect that at all. It's also very unique because there's very, very tiny roads, so it's hard to get here with cars. So it's like kind of crazy, but once you're here, it's beautiful because all these streets are super narrow, amazing architecture. It's beautiful, a lot of quaint local stores, and it's really cool to walk around. But man, it is packed. Another thing I love about Malta, one of the pros, is definitely being on the Mediterranean. There's something about the water, especially the Mediterranean, that is absolutely beautiful and tranquil. The color of the water is amazing. And sometimes even in places like Sliema, you're surrounded by water. So there's literally water on both sides. You're at the top of a hill and you can kind of look left and look right, and there's water all around you. I would say another thing that's unique about Malta specifically is the water is really accessible. There's like these rocks where you can literally take a pizza or a gelato or have a picnic or whatever, grab food to go, and you could sit on the rocks like in the middle of the sea, sort of. You're like kind of out in the Mediterranean, and it is really beautiful, and it's still rugged, so it's a very cool dichotomy. I guess one of the cons potentially is that Malta is an island, so there's definitely the sense of island fever, and it is small, so depending on how long you're staying here, that could be an issue as well. All right, after Valletta, I came back to Bella Sicilia, where I ordered this in the morning to save it for later because the other day it was sold out. It's a baked pasta. It's like a lasagna pasta type of thing. It's amazing. Another thing about Malta, and I'm going to get asked this a lot, is it is very safe. It's also a very round-the-clock sort of place that things are open very late at night, especially in Paceville, St. Julian. People are always out, and I've so far felt very, very safe here. It's also very walkable, so you could kind of walk along the streets. You could walk along the Mediterranean. Restaurants are always open. Shops are always open. So there's always people around, and I've always felt very, very safe in Malta. So this is the room at the Intercon where the poker's held, so you might be staying here. I thought it'd be cool to show you what it looks like. There are various types of rooms. I think one sort of hack I think that's really cool is get a room with the garden view and the pool view, because it is a lot brighter inside the room. We looked at a couple rooms, and some of them are really dark if they are on the wrong side. Also, it could be loud if you're on the other side too. But this view is incredible. We have the pool, the garden, and a lot of distance, creates a lot of light. So today will be a poker day, and even though I'm not going there max competition, I still do want to win, and I do respect the game and always try and play my best regardless of the situation, because I believe it's good training for future events. So today I will be playing poker, and I have a very programmed, strict, I would say, routine. It doesn't feel strict to me. I really enjoy it, but it's very structured, and I've learned this over years of trying to tweak things and optimize things to put myself in the best state of mind possible. I believe largely good days don't happen. They're engineered. If you look at the best athletes, for example, they always show up and play their A game. So this is a little bit of what I do. It depends on where I am, and I've kind of had to tweak this routine based on what options I have when I'm traveling. Obviously a lot of times you play poker in different cities, countries around the world, depending on where you're competing. And so it just depends on where I am. If I'm in a place like this that has a pool, I always start with a swim and a sauna. I do my meditation, and I really get the day going. I start working out. I work out multiple times, and I love to kind of visualize the poker session, how I want to play, some of the things I'm thinking about, some of the spots, some of the hands. I kind of coordinate the workout with a visualization exercise about poker so that my mind is on poker and it's ruminating about it and it's thinking through it. And it kind of gets me charged up while I'm working out. So I kind of blend a mental exercise with the workout, and I love that in the morning. So swimming is always my favorite default, and let's get to it. This is right on the banks of the Hilton in Portoaso, and you can see why we love this area so much. The walk is spectacular. You're right on the water. Temperature's pretty nice. You can even go for a swim. And there's this incredible rugged nature walk here. So behind me is the beautiful Portoaso harbor. You can see here why it's like playing in paradise. The Hilton's right here, the casino's right here. Highly recommend this place. It's incredible. Come check it out. So behind me is the casino in Portoaso Casino. This is where there's a lot of the cash games that you will find out here in Malta. There's also another one nearby, Dragonara. It's about 800 meters away, so it's super close, maybe a 5-minute walk. That also has games. But if you are here during the European Poker Tour, you will be playing at the Casino Malta, which is part of the Intercontinental. Again, it's also 5 minutes. So there's quite your choice around here, but everything is central in St. Julian's. I chose this place because I asked a few locals and friends and clients of mine that played out here. They said this typically has the most action. So when you're here outside of a tournament time, there's typically 1-3, and regardless of the casino you play at, it starts around 6 p.m. Sometimes you'll find a 5-5 game that runs as well. During the tournaments, if you're here for the EPT or Battle of Malta, they will have 5-10, 10-20, and bigger games that run. But I'm gonna go in here, it's about 6 o'clock, we're gonna start. I'm gonna see what runs, play 1-3, 1K buy-in max. If they run 5-5, great. Let's go check out the action. Just wrapped up a fun session here in this local cash game. I ended up meeting someone that was super cool. We ended up going out to dinner, but I do want to tell you a couple key takeaways. These are general strategies that I really think are going to help you in small stakes cash games. The first takeaway for people that are playing in these games is to not think so much about balance and bet sizing and theory. And I know I'm going to get some pushback for this, but you have to remember, the theory only matters insofar that your opponents are aware and adjusting and adapting to this. So you want to first identify who is playing a solid foundational approach. And of course, against those players, you need some balance and theory and various bet sizings. Against players that are not thinking too much about that, they're just playing their own hands, they're not thinking too deeply about ranges or what you're repping, you want to play very, very straightforward. If you are doing this right, and I just spoke with a client about this on the phone literally a week ago, if you're doing this right, he was lamenting to me that he felt like the game was very boring. He felt like he was playing below his level. He felt like there wasn't much creativity. And in fact, he told me he really enjoys playing 2-5 and moving up to 5-10 because people actually are thinking more through the hand. So even though the game is more difficult, it is more fun and creative. So if you are doing this correctly at small stakes poker, you're going to feel like it's very boring. You're going to have very few tools in your arsenal to navigate through a hand. So one example of this is thinking about 3-betting ranges. People typically 3-bet hands like ace-5 suited as a bluff because you need to 3-bet bluffs in order to get paid with your value. So for example, if you're only 3-betting 10s plus ace-queen, your opponents can adjust, they're never going to pay you off, right? That's a basic concept of game theory. But in these sorts of games where people are playing very, very poorly, they're not thinking about that. They're just looking at their 9-7 suited and they want to call. So you don't have to adjust in this way. Another example that I would say, another takeaway, is bet sizing. So typically you're going to choose between various bet sizes, a third of the pot, 2/3 pot, full pot, over pot, etc. And they all serve different purposes. But in these games, I would challenge people to think a little bit more simple about their strategy. And if your hand is strong enough to bet bigger, bet on the bigger side. Go for a lot of value, apply a lot of pressure. You want to be building a pot when you have a strong hand. Otherwise, you can just check. And again, that feels so like painful to say as a strategy because it's really not a strategy. It's kind of very exploitable. But again, that is probably going to yield you a higher result than trying to find some random bluffs for a third pot to balance your range. Again, that stuff is not that important in these games. So those are some of the key takeaways, the very simplistic ones and are high level, but ultimately you have to adjust the games for you and figure out what level people are playing on and play one level higher than that. So I talk a lot more about these strategies at consciouspoker.com. Click on membership and check out our program. We help you build your game from the ground up. You'll also get personal feedback from me in our group, as well as other coaches and members around the world. Highly recommend that. It's perfect for beating 1, 3, 2, 5 and local cash games. So highly recommend you check that out. I really enjoy filming these in every city I go to. So let me know what other questions you have about small stakes cash games, mid stakes cash games. I'm down to answer them in future videos and answer future questions for you guys. Hope I could be a resource to help you on your poker journey. Be sure to subscribe, like, more videos are coming, and we'll catch you soon.